What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. My name is Oli, and we are back here again with some AU vs. the World pre-season content. We are getting excited. Today, we are going to be reviewing the World Tribe to see how we think they're going to stack up against this AU Tribe and what we think our predictions are. Of course, I am joined today by the lovely Cara. Cara, how are we?
I'm good. I'm excited. This is a really interesting tribe that we're going to be talking about, so I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And we can't do this alone. We need to, get ourselves a lovely, lovely little Scottish guest for this one. And today we are joined by none other than Doug from Survivor UK. Doug, how are we?
Yo, so good to be back. This is awesome. Nice photo. That was stolen straight off my Twitter, I think. Nice.
I have nothing to do with the photos. It was just what popped up when I did the pop-up. But no, Doug, was so excited to have you. I mean, for those that don't know, me and Doug have been literally texting each other, being like, we're going to be on a podcast at some point together. We're going to make sure it's there. And today is that day. And we're talking about AU vs. the World. So, Doug, first things first, how excited are you for this season?
Oh gosh, this is. I don't think I've been as excited for a season of Survivor, probably a season ever of anything. To be honest, as a Survivor fan, it's game changing. It's crazy. A lot of great fun characters coming into a bit of a melting pot. Condensed season, short and sweet and fiery. Is good. I'm confident it's going to be. Up there as one of the best.
Yeah, I completely agree, Cara. I know I asked you probably the same question in the AU tribe, but are you gearing up now? We've got a little bit less time to wait.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it. I really can't wait. Like, there's just no way it's not going to be good. Like, yeah, I can't wait. I don't even know what else to say. Just so excited.
No, I'm excited as well. Obviously, with this World Tribe, I do need to ask Doug a specific question. Doug, who from the UK, and you can include yourself if you want, who from the UK would you have wanted to see on this tribe?
Oh, it's such a good question.
Yeah.
There's a few people who I think could have represented the UK pretty well and done pretty well over there. Obviously, Chris was great. Chris was brilliant. He's just a legend. I would love to see him again in that environment because he's so damn entertaining.
Yeah.
Ashley as well. I think Ashley was someone who was underrated in our season. Believe you me, seeing it firsthand in front of me and her managing the game and very much coming from bottom to top was amazing to see. We've got our winner Matt as well. And Queen T Tanuki would be great to see as well,
Yes. And do you know what? You basically said every single person that I was thinking, except for obviously yourself.
Thank you.
Look, I know that we only had one season, but the UK, I think if they were to do a AU vs. the World 2, the UK could come out and do some damage. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
No
doubt. Thank you. No doubt. It's one of my hopes for this upcoming sort of worldwide season would be, potentially put UK back on the map, and if it allows other people based in the UK to have a chance of playing and applying, I'm all for it.
Honestly, same on that one.
Yeah. I'm wanting you on that show, dude.
Thank you. I do as well. But you do bring up a good point of obviously it could re-put some seasons on the map, and that could be the case for this World Tribe because we will get into it. But there are two people representing two different franchises that no longer do any Survivor seasons, so we could have some things happening there. Do you just want to pop over to the chat though, because the chat is going off. You've got Randy in the chat sending you some love, Doug. We've also got Gabe in the chat saying he's excited for the Survivor Olympics, which basically it is. And this better not be a thing on my accent. That's not how my accent says it, okay? I'm so sorry. Poverty. there? Are we happy? Like, I can't. Poverty. Like, it's my afflictions. I'm so sorry.
That's how I feel about Shawnee. Shawnee.
Yeah.
There's actually a character. Me and my wife, we listen to the Harry Potter audiobooks, and there's a character called Parvati. Parvati Patil. So there's a few different pronunciations in there.
Yeah.
Look, I promise I'm going to try and say everyone's names correctly, but if I don't, it's the accent. Don't blame me. But let's get straight into it, because we have got, obviously, the World Tribe to talk about, and I'm just going to list them off here. We have got Cass from Quebec. We've got Tony from the United States. You've got Tommy from Finland. You've got Lisa from New Zealand. You've got Sari from the US. You have got Rob from South Africa. And you have got Parvati, I hope I said that one right, from the United States as well. So, Cara, first things first, with this overall tribe, what are your thoughts just from the offset? Will you look at this tribe, initial thoughts?
I am so excited to see them all, like, see how they'll mesh together. I mean, we have so many strong people from the United States on the tribe that I'm excited to see play again. And then there's like a lot of people I've never seen play, which I think is exciting to see. It's always exciting to see not new people, but see people play that you haven't seen before. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. And I feel like there's so many ways this tribe could go. Like, are the US people going to align? Are the people from the other franchises going to align? Are the girls going to align? Like, what's going to happen? There's so many options they have.
There really is. And we'll get into those in a minute. But Doug, same question to you. Initial thoughts looking at this world tribe. Is it world class?
Yeah. I mean, on paper, I've got some notes here. On paper, you could easily make the assumption it's going to be a Team USA as that core three, and then you have the remaining sort of world members.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll quite be like that. But I think this is an interesting one because, as you said, Cara, you have people there who we might be seeing play for the first time, which could definitely be beneficial to their game. No doubt about it. You know, coming in as that underdog figure, even a sprinkling of naivety around you, I don't think it'll do any harm you going forward. Am I right in thinking that Sari will be playing? This could be including Survivor 50. This will be her 6th time.
Yeah, including. So this is technically her 5th time. 50 being her 6th time. Yeah.
So this is potentially the most experienced Survivor player on the entire planet. Yeah. Bonkers. That's crazy, you know. And I know all these players will be doing their homework. You know. Do you keep these big headline players in as shields? Mm-hmm. Do you try and get rid of them early? The condensed season, do you try and build your resume as quickly as possible because there's not much time to operate during the game? Yeah, this is a really interesting tribe. More interesting than the Australian tribe, I would say, actually. A bit less predictable. Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Do you know what? I do agree with you there, Doug, because in the sense of, like, you've got the AU tribe where, because when we did kind of connections last time on the AU tribe, there was so many connections that you could kind of hop and change and all this. And when it came to the art, like the discussions afterwards, we really could see those connections coming into our fourth. But looking at this tribe, like even just the connections alone, there's not that many connections. And I do feel like when you look at the caliber, even though there may be people we don't know as much, I think we're going to see some like surprises. And I think Gatti, I really hope I've said your name correctly. I do apologize if I haven't. He says, don't you think the stars have researched the likes of Lisa, Cass, Tommy, and Rob? I want to get into this because I personally think some may have. I don't think all of the stars would have. Cara, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if maybe like I can't imagine like Tony doing like research on like some of the other players, you know, like
not at all.
I feel like they probably like Tommy and like Rob or Lisa or the other players on the World Tribe have probably know way more about Tony and Parvati and Suri than the three of them know about anyone else on the tribe. So,
yeah. I agree, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, look, to be a good Survivor player, you need to prepare for the game. And I would imagine all your sort of stars would have done their homework on your likes of Tommy, your Cass. But I think they'll maybe have their own priority list in terms of who's the more dangerous and who's someone that you could probably manage, you know?
Yeah.
This is, I mean, it's a returnee season, so you do have some research to do before you go in. It's not completely blind, like a fresh UK one. But there are players in there who are extremely dangerous, who you need to keep quite a close eye on. Parvati, for example, is someone you can't let spread their... You can't get their claws into anyone too early on. You know, you'd be going in there. If I was in there, I'd be trying to get Parvati out immediately.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I mean, I definitely agree with you in the sense of like I would, if I was in their position, I'd be doing my homework. I know that definitely there would have been a couple of people, to name two people, Lisa and Tommy. I know for a fact they would have done their homework. I can count on it. And I'll talk on why when we get to them. But I definitely think someone like Tony definitely would have just been like, who cares? We'll go there. I don't know, because, and I will get into it, and I think it comes from the two-winner mentality, unfortunately, but I could be proven wrong easily. But let's get into the connections that we've got going into this tribe, because compared to the Australian tribe, there is not that many. You have 3 players from the US, and then obviously it's one from Quebec, one from Finland, one from South Africa, one from New Zealand. Obviously, the three people being Suri, Parvati, and Tony, and they do have some connections with each other. I mean, you start off with Parvati and Suri. They've played 2 seasons together, one of which they were very close. Obviously, that was Micronesia fans versus favourites. They got all the way to the final 3 together before Suri had to go. And I believe Suri did actually vote for Parvati to win in the end. And then you've got them both in Heroes versus Villains. Obviously, they weren't on the same tribe. Suri did go early, but there was still something there. You then have Tony and Suri, who both played Game Changers together. Obviously, that was Tony's very small stint on the show, sadly. But you still have that little connection. Following on that, you've then got Tony and Parvati with Winners at War, where, again, they weren't on the same tribe, but there was still some connections to it. And I do believe Parvati voted for Natalie to win. And I can't remember if it was against Tony or not, but there was definitely reasons behind it. I didn't do that full research for them 3. Those are the main connections we have for this kind of tribe. So is there anything that either of you two want to talk about in terms of connections with this tribe? Or we can go on to kind of assumptions, because I definitely feel like with the stats with this tribe, there could be some assumptions coming into play. Cara, I want to go to you first.
Yeah. I mean, immediately, like, the 3 of them are outnumbered from the rest of the tribe. So, like, I feel like that isn't great for them, because all 3 of them are people where, you know, if they get far and they get some momentum, who knows what could happen. And Tony coming in as a 2-time winner, I feel like already has a big target on his back. So, I don't know. I guess that doesn't really have to do with connections, but those are just things I was thinking of.
No, that's very fair, Doug.
Yeah, it's interesting. You could have something like, I don't think Tommy won his season. He was a losing finalist.
Yeah.
I also think, was it Cass who was a losing finalist as well? Or was it Lisa? One of them
it was Cass. It was Cass.
Yes, one of them was a losing finalist. Suri's also never won.
Mm-hmm.
That could potentially be some sort of talking point connection there, where you start targeting actual past winners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your likes of Rob and Tony are generally, I mean, they're built like big dudes. You know, they're big beasts. I would imagine those 2 players potentially hooking up. I would actually put them down to be probably the first two boots of the entire show, to be honest. That's my sort of hot take. Rob and then Tony, I think they'd be my first two boots. I'm thinking about that. We can go into that later. Is how I'm predicting the season to go.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, and then also I guess Tommy and I keep forgetting the lady from Canada, Cass. I think they'll generally be viewed as the outsiders and underdogs coming into this. Just based on the presence of Survivor in their respective countries.
Yeah.
That's to me that if I was in that situation, I would be banding together as a sort of David versus Goliath standpoint, for sure. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that you make a great point there on Tommy and Cassandra. I just want to quickly bring up this quote from Gabe. Gabe literally says Tommy and Cassandra come in as free agents.
Yeah.
Like, don't think anyone knows them. And that is, this is where I kind of want to go into the more assumptions of things, because I do feel like that could be a case. Like a assumptive connection could be that Tommy and Cass, they're the two non-English speaking kind of contestants. Are people just going to assume that will link them together? Right. Same with Gabe's point here, Nick, making another point. 4 winners on that tribe. You've got Parvati, Tony, Rob, and Lisa, all 4 winners. Could the AU tribe just assume those 4 are going to work together? Yeah, and it's obviously you've then got the 4 internationals, which is Cass, Tommy, Cass, Tommy, Rob, and Lisa. Yeah. Those 4 are the non-Americans on that tribe. So again, I think when it comes to connections with this tribe, it's not more so connections. It is those assumptions that I think as fans we're going to sit there and go, right, how is this all going to play out?
Another point, sorry, Oli, about researching before going into the game is, as you said, non-English speaking seasons. And me and my wife, who's watching the stream downstairs, I think, we actually started watching a little bit of. My wife is Finnish, so we are very much Team Tommy. So we started watching a bit of Survivor Finland, and the subtitles are they're not translated very well in terms of what they're actually saying. So if you're researching, you're missing on the tone and the actual language that these players are conveying during the game. You're actually only getting half the story if you're researching these players, which is again a huge advantage. I would say for Tommy and Cass coming in. Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you now, because I rewatched all of Quebec because I was able to find the place for that. and I tried to do Finland. I really, really tried. The subtitles were just messing me up, and I was just like again, and that's not towards the Finnish version of the show. It literally is. It was like AI generated subtitles. I was just sat there like, this is so hard. But I kind of got the gist of what was going on with them. But I completely agree with you, Doug. Like, their research could be a bit skewed because they're not really understanding the full picture, which is then a benefit to both Cass and
Absolutely.
Tommy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There is one sorry, I've just seen Lucky Doug if I can tell him what happened on this season. And yes, Randy, we have been doing our homework. Well done. On the back for us. But there is one other connection that's just popped to my head, which kind of concerns the AU tribe, and that is Parvati. She has just played Deal or No Deal Island with David, who is now loving his life with all that money. So do you think that connection is going to play in anyway? Because obviously that is the only cross-tribal connection that we know of and can kind of verbatim be like, here's something.
Yeah. I thought of one more before we go into that, which is it's a bit of a branch reach, but is the Spy Shack Bros. Could that be a Tony and Luke connection there?
That's a really interesting one. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah. I think that might have legs potentially. It popped into my head just before the stream. Because I know that AU likes when you watch AU, I have seen some players kind of, emulate US Survivor players, and definitely Luke has emulated Tony, obviously, there. So that could be a really interesting one. Cara, what do you think?
I could see that being a possible connection if they're able to meet up at some point in the game. I'm wondering if like how safe like some of the Australian players would be, where they're like, let's throw this and give it to the other tribe, or no, to give them immunity so we can keep them for us when we get to a merge or something.
I think we spoke about that on the last stream.
Yeah.
Like, I could see the AU tribe kind of being like, we'll throw it, we'll let them stay because we can see some people there that we'd rather work with. Like these tribes I can already tell, are going to be very dynamic together, and I can't wait for them to come together because I do think we're going to see some sparks flying, like especially with these tribes. Before we kind of go on to like obstacles, like Doug, Cara, is there anything else you want to mention in terms of assumptions, connections, any adding to the web, basically?
I mean, do you think we could get another Black Widow Brigade with the ladies on the World Tribe?
Could you imagine?
I'm mad at that. Yes.
Yeah, because
I could see that.
There's 4 of them.
And yeah, I could actually see that because obviously you've got 2 of the original Black Widows in Suri and Parvati, and I do know we'll get into this later on, but I know that Lisa is a huge fan of Suri, and I think Lisa did actually emulate one of Suri's moves in her season, which I will touch upon later. So yeah, definitely could see that. Gally I think it's a very short season. What about the idea of get all the muscles out before merge because there are more women than men? That is very true. That could happen. And actually, Gabe's not sure Cassandra would do it. Her season, she did, and I will touch on this. She did like working with the guys. Doug, any last things before we move on?
No, I think that last comment there about getting the muscles out first it very much plays into my prediction. I feel that's the way it's going to go, and we can dive into that later, which is which I'm looking forward to.
I definitely agree. Right, let's move on to each person's biggest obstacle. So we did this with the AU tribe, and we're going to go through each person and basically say what we think their biggest obstacle is coming into this game. And we're going to start out strong. Let's just dive right into Parvati.
No.
Like, I do feel like out of everyone on this tribe, she may have some of the bigger obstacles to her to come into. So, Cara, I'm gonna ask you first. What do you think is Parvati's biggest obstacle?
I honestly just being Parvati. Like, everyone knows her, knows how she operates in games. Like, she's played so many times now. She was on Traders. Like, people are familiar with her. Like, people are going to be looking out for things that she's doing, and I think that is not going to be helpful for her when she's out there with everyone being so familiar with her. So yeah, just kind of being her.
Like almost perception. Like I definitely think that's going to be her kind of biggest hurdle is, and we see this a lot in returnee seasons where what your perception is, like what people perceive you as from your original season is what you're going to go into that season as. And where Parvati has had all of this amazing kind of moments and not just Survivor, but like Traitors as well and other shows, her perception is good. Like she's going to be a threat going into that. So she's going to have to do something about that perception in order to like get some sort of footing. Doug, what do you think Parvati's biggest obstacle is?
Totally agree. This is probably one of the most, if the most dangerous Survivor player period in the game, you know. Vastly experienced and can make you look quite stupid if she and as demonstrated, your likes of Eric giving up the immunity idol, the immunity necklace. Many players she's sort of left in her wake. The smart thing to do would be to try and get her out as quickly as possible until, as I've sort of said, let her get her claws into the game and over to her side, and then start running it.
Yeah, definitely.
She's just too good for her own good.
No, do you know what? That is a perfect choice. She is too good for her own good, and I definitely think if she's not given the chance to get her claws in, then I think it's gonna be her demise. The chat is saying, Gabe is saying, Parvati likes to mainly do the Girls Alliance. Don't feel like she'll change that. I kind of agree. If anyone can become another 2-time winner, it's probably she almost did it in Heroes versus Villains. We'll get to that prediction if we think that could happen. Parvati and Shoni, the dream team. Gabe again has said Poverty is able to draw allies towards her with her charisma. I definitely think that is the case. And Jaden in the chat as well saying Poverty, Sari, and Lisa working together. I can already tell with Cass, maybe. Now, we'll talk about Cass in a bit, but it's Gabe's comment about her charisma. We know that Poverty has got this undeniable charisma. Do we think that is going to help her in this season? I'm not sure. Personally.
I mean, it's tried and tested, and it's worked every time. You know, the evidence is there, and she's very successful at playing the game.
Yeah.
It just depends. This is a bit of a unique season because it's a returnee season, and there's a lot on the line. It's if you want to try and if you're kind of moving into, I guess, a new era and you want to shut it down quickly, then you can. I think it's going to be a hindrance. You know, I generally think this game is suited to your likes of Tommy coming in. I'm not going to say underdog, but somebody who has a lot of shields in front of them that will protect them moving forward. I think this is how the season might be going. So for someone like Parvati, has a chance to go far, but I think this one's made for an underdog, and I say underdog in the biggest respect.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Cara. You go ahead first.
Yeah, I think people are just going to be too aware of it and too aware of things that she's going to be doing or how she's acting, where people aren't going to be maybe as receptive as they have in the past. And I did have another thing I wanted to say, but now I forgot what it was. It was I really think like if Parvati and David do end up meeting at some point in this game together, I think that's it. It's over. Game over.
Yeah.
There's no way they're not gonna link up and work together.
Yeah, I agree. I do think this her charisma might be a hindrance this time, just because, like you said, Doug, we've seen her. It's been tried and true on so many other seasons. We saw it work in Micronesia. We saw it work in Heroes versus Villains. We did kind of see it work in Winners at War, but not as much. But I think with the obviously as the seasons go, we've seen it kind of digress. I think with this season where we are kind of calling it the Survivor Olympics, I think it's going to be tougher for her because everyone's going to know. Everyone's going to know her ways. So I think they're always going to be a bit on guard with her, which I think is what is going to be, again, one of her obstacles. She's going to want to make sure that, she isn't just straight away going up, doing her thing. Because I think if she straight away goes in and is charismatic and does her thing, it's going to put a target on her. So that's what I'm worried about for her. Jaden does ask, will they be able to hide that secret though? Like the Poverty and David connection, I believe he's referring to. Well, this is the thing, because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, that didn't air before everyone knew, or did it? It did, didn't it?
No, I think they just filmed it, so no one knows about it. It was filmed before.
So it would either be that if one of them two blabs, then okay then. Okay, I think so. Right, should we move on to another player? Because I want to move on to someone that I really want to get Doug's opinion on, Tommy.
Oh, there he is.
Because I don't know why. I just have a slight feeling that Doug might be a fan of Tommy. So, Doug, I'll go to you first. What do you think is Tommy's biggest obstacle coming into this game?
Oh, look, I mean, it's going to be tough for everyone, but I guess I guess you're a bit less experienced than a lot of the players there. You have you have players who have played multiple times. But I think for someone like Tommy, you come in with a lot of advantages. He can speak good English. I've heard he did speak good English. He can speak the language very, very well. He's quite a funny dude. He's a huge fan of the game. I think he's going to do really well. I think he's got a lot of upside, Tommy. I think he's going to surprise people. I'm absolutely rooting for him. Just love that wolf shirt as well. I mean, you don't see it very often.
Well, correct me if I this is the exact same outfit he wore in Finland. So for those that don't know, he literally just got this exact same outfit that he did when he played in Finland, and he's wearing it in Survivor AU. I mean, the consistency, I love that part of me. I love for him.
I mean, what might be going against him is like, if you're an experienced player, you want to keep experienced players around early on, so there are other targets around you. You know, maybe you want to cut away the sort of the newbie. I'm not meaning this to disrespect to Tommy at all, but maybe you want to cut away these sort of players who have played kind of smaller seasons early on. Potentially, that might be going against him. You know, if you're a Tony and you want to keep in your Parvati as sort of that shield going forward.
Yeah.
That's maybe the biggest risk to him, but you know, I think he's definitely got room to maneuver. People will be looking for his vote. People will be looking for him to join their numbers and make up those votes. Yeah. He's got room to operate. This guy, he's really good. He's really good outside as well. You know, I mean, I know Survivor is not so much more about the survival aspect as well, but he's quite handy. You know, in terms of surviving and being an outdoorsman.
Yeah. Okay. Cara, you go before I give all of my little stats for him. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy's on your draft, isn't he?
He is. So I'm rooting for him. I mean, I feel like I've only heard good things about him, so I'm excited to see how he'll do with this cast. I feel like a few of them, it's like a similar situation with how Kirby is on the Australian tribe. Like, played one season, kind of a less experience compared to some of the other people on the tribe. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with Tommy, where I think that'll be a good thing for him going in, where people are going to want to work with him and pull him in to their whatever they're trying to do.
Do you know what so for each of the non-US players, when it comes to my notes, I have kind of put down a US player to kind of maybe help US fans resonate with them a bit more. I did have Dominic down, but actually Kirby is probably the best description when it comes to Tommy. I do feel like they played very, very similar games. So just for the US fans that maybe haven't done their research, this is what we're here for. You're welcome. I'll say that now. So with Tommy's game, obviously Tommy won 3 individual immunities. He was a really strong strategic player. It was him and kind of, I want to say his name right, Palmieri. I hope I have said that name right. It was kind of them two, they were really a pair going in their game. As Doug said, he was a big super fan, and he made it all the way to the end, got second place. And the US player that I kind of referred him to was Dominic from Ghost Island. Really strong strategic player, and it was just kind of at the end, the jury preferred another game to kind of his. And that's what I saw with Tommy's game. Gabe said it in the chat. Tommy's obstacle has no connections. It's his weakness and his strength. And I kind of agree with that in the sense of you've got some really big players in this cast. And obviously, as we said, Tommy comes in as a free agent. My worry is that you've got so many of these big threats that they could all kind of turn to Tommy and go, he's an enigma. And if he does come in really strong, really strategic at the start, it could put people off. That's my worry with him. I think that's going to happen? Not 100%. But I think if he does kind of come in with that strong kind of gameplay, with wanting to be strategic, and he hasn't got that big of a threat level as everyone else, I do think it could be his downfall. I don't know, though, but that's where my head kind of goes. Doug, have you got anything else there?
I actually see it more as a strength. I genuinely see it more as a strength in the way this short, condensed season will go. You know, you're coming flying out the gate, and again, all these players, it's all about resumes at the end. It's all about presenting to the jury what you've done in this condensed period of time, and you want to go in there saying, "Look, I came off the bat and I got rid of a big player straight away." I think that's what they'll be thinking. You know, I think it's a strength, but it's a good point, Big Gabe, 100%.
Yeah. I completely agree. Sorry, the chat was going off and I was kind of like keeping my eye on it going, what's going on there? Cara, you go.
He also just like looks non-threatening, you know, like he just looks like a nice guy that you would want to align with, where I feel like there's maybe some other people on the tribe where you look at them and you're like, oh, like this person could be a problem. This person could win some things, where he kind of just doesn't look threatening.
So when you want to go for a sauna with, because Finnish people love saunas, you know.
They do.
They love them. My wife also taught me how to pronounce Survivor in Finnish, which is that kind of crazy word there. And it is pronounced Selviyutijat. Selviyutijat Suomi 7.
Say it one more time.
Okay.
She's probably screaming downstairs, pronouncing it wrong. It's Selviyutijat. Utijat. Yeah, I think that's it.
I love that.
Apologies, any Finnish people who are watching. I'm butchering the pronunciation.
But do you know what, though? Because I've seen a couple of other podcasts that have been kind of looking at the pre-seasons and stuff, and no one has been able to pronounce the name. So do you know what? You've done the best. Like you can have that. You can have that pre-season hype there.
I'm also trying to convince my wife to apply for the Finnish season. I think there's one. I think she's missed applications this year, but next year I'm going to pretty much force her to do it.
Yes,
I'm definitely going to do it. Yeah, 100%.
I want to see that. Because then you can go if they do a blood versus water. Oh my god, that connection sorted.
Yeah.
I just want to run into the chat because we've got a lot of actual people. We have got people talking about Tommy here. Gabe, as he said, he ran it with his closest ally, similar to Dom and Wendell. That's why I gave that Dom and Wendell thing. Zans, I just want to confirm. I know you said it in another chat. No, this is the preseason hype. We're doing the upcoming preseason hype, so don't you worry about that. Jaden just wants to say, by the way, I wish there was some UK people in. I agree as well.
So
both me and Doug agree. And Gabe also says Tommy can play up being just the shelter guy. He likes doing that. So yeah, he could do that. I could see that happening. Right. We've talked about Doug's favorite. So let's move on to another person that I'm very excited to play, but I'm also very worried about her, Sari. Because as Doug said, this is her 5th season of 6, because we've still got 50 coming up to her. I want to touch on Sari first. I think Sari's biggest obstacle coming into this game is just going to be her legacy. Because there are so many people that know Sari. The amount of people that, when it comes to pre-seasons of like any US show, like when they get the question of, oh, who's your favorite Survivor player, like previous Survivor player, like at least 5 people say Sari. Like it's just a known fact. Even like I think in other iterations of the show, people are going to be like, who do you look up to? Somehow there's going to be a wormhole when someone says Sari. So that's my worry for Sari is her legacy. She's an icon. She is, as people coin the term, she's mother. So I am definitely, I'm worried for Sari in that sense. Cara, I want to go to you first. What do you think Sari's biggest obstacle is?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of similar to like Parvati, like everyone kind of knows Sari. They know like she's played so many times, how she plays, like I don't know if this will come into play, but like she also won the Traders, like that's another thing. But I feel like if anyone can, if she's even played Big Brother, you know, so like she's has all these different experiences with people and playing games where I think it's good for her. And I think she's good at downplaying herself and how good she is, which I think will be a benefit to her. And I also don't think she's like great at the challenges, which could go either way for her in this situation where, you know, So I don't know. I really could see it going either way for her. I could see her going far, or people just be like, you know what, she's too big of a threat. Let's get her out. But she's also never won Survivor, so I feel like that also is a positive for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this particular season, it could be a positive for her in the sense of you've got 4 winners on her tribe, so that thing could help. I mean, I need to make this point because you mentioned how obviously she's done Survivor, she's done Big Brother, she's done Traitors. Like she just needs to do the Amazing Race, and she's kind of done like the square of like US reality TV. Producers, listen out to that. Doug, though, what do you think Sari's kind of biggest obstacle is?
Yeah, I think you have both nailed it. Again, just social juggernaut and someone who's just good at playing these sorts of games. who's just a winner. You know, maybe not in Survivor, but you're traitors. Very much a Survivor icon. Could she be that sort of motherly figure and take in your Tommy and your Cass under her wing? Could she be that sort of that nice? I don't know, potentially. You know, that could possibly be her sort of game plan coming into this and say, look, hey guys, you know, I've done this before. I know it's a bit daunting. You got your Tony and Parvati there. I'll look after you.
Do you know what? I could see that with Suri, because again, she has always. We have seen her in certain seasons. I mean, Game Changers is the perfect example. She took someone like Michaela under her wing, and you saw that relationship develop. I could see her doing that with Lisa. And we will get to that reason why, but I think it's because I'll say it now. Lisa adores Suri. Like, Lisa loves Suri. So I could see kind of that happening with them too. But oh my God, the chat is going off. I just want to quickly get into these points. Randy says in the chat, I think unfortunately Suri will go down as the greatest player to never win. He doesn't see her winning on this or 50. You can talk about that on 50. We've got another one in her favor, though. She will have no immunity, so that might protect her, which could be the case because with AU Survivor, it's physical. It is a lot of physical challenges, which then could benefit her. And kind of Jaden wants to remind us there are so many big threats who are previous winners. Keep that in mind. Again, do you think that is actually one of the things going in her favor this season? The fact that there is so many winners on her tribe.
Yeah. I mean, I think out of the 3 US players, I think Suri is going to be around the longest and I think have the best chance of maybe winning out of the 3 of them. So I think, and I think not being a winner is good for her.
Yeah.
Doug, have you got anything to say before I go?
Yeah, I think it's a good point about the challenges. I mean, because our season, we took a lot of challenges from Australia and they are freaking physical. There are a lot of 1v1 battles and the risk of injury is heightened. So, you know, it's one of those things, you know, it can be a dangerous game at some points.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, God, yeah. And I think it will depend on the challenges that they do that we'll know in that regard if that's going to be a hindrance for Suri. Gatti, I really hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. Please tell me if I'm not. He's put here, I feel that we have to look at the duo Parvati and Suri. Nothing will divide those two. Do we think that's going to happen? And if it does, do you think that is going to be to one of their detriments? Because everyone will know that them two have aligned, them two have been kind of friends. So is that something that could be a hurdle for them, kind of being like they've got to distance themselves at the start? Because if they're just put together straight away, they're going to be looked at no matter what, especially in this short of a season.
Yeah. I think people are definitely going to be looking out for it. And like, do they really want to play that way again? You know, like they did it. Do they want that again? Maybe they want to do something different.
Do you know what? I think they should do something a little different. Why not? Right. Let's move on to our next player. Hailing from the lovely place of South Africa, it is Rob, who played Island of Secrets, and he was the winner. So before I get into all my little cliff notes of Rob, Doug, I want to go to you first. What do you think is Rob's biggest hurdle coming into this game?
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't watched too much of South Africa, but I know this is a guy who's probably the best player to come out of South Africa to a lot of people. You know, this is a guy who dominated his own season, like by a long way. You know, and I've got him down as probably boot 1 or boot 2. This guy he's a challenge beast. I think he won 5 individuals in my notes. I think he's just an all-round sort of great player. And this is someone who will get targeted quite early in the game for sure, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I agree. Cara, do you want me to go next?
Yeah, you can go.
So I will give me these cliff notes here. So obviously Rob, as I said, was the winner of Island of Secrets. he was able to win 5 individual immunities, so kind of on par there with the US. He had such a dominant alliance. When I look at his game, the person I kind of reflect it to is Kim Spradlin. Really dominant. He had a core group of people like Nicole, Nathan, Steffi. Just want to shout out Steffi, she's queen. And then was also he was able to build other relationships with people from other tribes, which kind of is where that reference to Rob goes into. I think where he kind of maybe things got a little bit tricky was maybe his social game, where it was very clear who he was kind of aligned with. And I think that's what kind of drew people away from Rob. But because he was in such a strong position, it wasn't going to matter to him. Like he was dominating no matter what. So I do think Rob's biggest hurdle coming into the game is if he tries to come and play the exact same game he played in Island of Secrets, like you said, Doug, he's going to be one of the first people out. Because I can tell Rob loves control, but I think in this particular season, I think he needs to take a day to understand the dynamics first. If he goes in there and goes, I like you, I like you, I like you, we're all together, that's not going to gel for some people. And I know when you've got big personalities in this game already, that's not going to gel. So if he comes in and does that, that's where I worry for him.
And I think if you're coming in, if you're a Tommy or a Cass or a Lisa, and you want to make your mark early, and you're a bit scared to take on the big 3 of the US players, you'd be targeting someone like Rob.
Yeah, I completely agree. I could agree. Just Cara, before you go, I just want to throw some points out here because the chat is going off as soon as I put Rob's name up there. Everyone. Randy said Rob versus David in a physical hands challenge. Yes, I would love to see that. Survivor Twist just wants to say sorry we're late. You are welcome. Give us your thoughts. And as Gabe has said, like when I tell you Rob ran that season with an iron grip, like he really did. Survivor Twists again. Rob was more than dominant. He was absolutely threatening. Like he really was. So Cara, what do you think is kind of Rob's biggest hurdle?
Yeah, I would say being so strong and wanting to have the control. And I feel like that's probably going to be an issue for a lot of people on the season, wanting to have control and maybe not having that control. So yeah, I think that definitely seems like it'll be an issue for him. And like alternatively to Tommy, like Tommy didn't seem like look like a threat, but like you look at Rob and you're like, oh, like this guy, he looks like he's gonna be a problem. So I feel like just
look at that photo. That photo.
Yeah.
He's devious. He's absolutely. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Just look at that and make me actually consider the gym. I won't. But yeah, his just overall aura is probably going to scare people. So I think if he comes in being a bit more calm, a bit more mild-mannered, it could help him. Gabe just put a really funny thing in the chat going, Rob is Cassandra's type of ally. So, you never know there. And Gaffy also says if he tries the Boston Rob, he's out with those women. I agree. If he comes in with that kind of Boston Rob mentality, he's gonna go. I just want to throw out this comment because this is so true. The amount of people, like from Island of Secrets, the amount of people that could return. Like I know we got Rob. Like Rob's the best, one of the greatest US SA players. But I do just need to shout out Island of the Secrets because there is so many good players. Like shout out Corbus, shout out C-Pay, shout out Steffi, shout out Nicole. Like if they do another A versus the World season, I would not be surprised if they got someone else from South Africa from Island of Secrets. Just throwing that out there. Sorry. I had to do that tangent because it is a great season. Sorry. Do we have anything else on Rob before we move on? No. Okay. Well, let's move on to supposedly someone that would love Rob as an ally, Cassandra, who was obviously Survivor Quebec, and she finished second. I can do my stats here first because I've actually got a good kind of her obstacle. For those of you that don't know, Survivor Quebec is 60-ish episodes. I think this one was 67 episodes. It is all like 20 minutes though, so it's kind of like you just basically watch 3 in a row and it's then one episode. They just love to have about 10 million episodes. Cassandra was definitely more of a quiet player at the start of her game. Like, you didn't really see her. Her tribe kind of was really strong, so she didn't really go to tribal that often pre-merge. But then she was really kind of tight with some allies, and she really was tight with, it's fair to say, with quite a few of the men. The eventual winner of that season, her and that, Gelslain, I hope I've said the name right. Them two were like this. And the player I kind of said that you could kind of quote her towards is Amanda Kimmel. Because with Cass's game, I think her hurdle or her obstacle will be she needs to have a killer instinct. Because in her season, she was really strong. She made some really good decisions, but everyone else could see the writing on the wall of she needed to get rid of these people in order to kind of like really, truly win. And she never did that. And when it came to kind of the end of the season, like when it came to the jury, she really didn't have that killer instinct to then be able to give these answers and convince the jury. So I think that's kind of going to be her biggest hurdle. She needs to make sure she has that killer instinct to where if she knows something's going on, she needs to strike and she needs to understand that it's best for her game. That's my worry with Cass. Cara, I'm going to go to you next. What do you think Cass's biggest hurdle is going to be?
Well, from like reading what people are saying in the chat and from what you said, it seems like she was very loyal, which, you know, it goes either way because you do need to know like when you need to maybe cut the person that you're being loyal to and give yourself a better chance at the end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like after experiencing that, like she won't make that mistake again and go in smarter this time. I was reading that she only had one vote against her the entire season and she negated it with an idol. So I feel like that's like a good instinct, you know, like she knew whatever. So that's great. Yeah, I think I could see her, you know, going far, linking up with some people, and I don't know what really could be bad. I guess unless her instinct didn't get better about voting people out.
I wanna elaborate in the thing of like her because basically Survivor Twist kind of said it, but she had a killer instinct except against her number one ally, and that's really kind of what caused her to lose.
Yeah.
So it is understanding that sense. I mean, in terms of social game, like Cass has an amazing social game. Like I do think Cass is going in with not a lot of people realizing how strong of a social game she may have. So it is that. But yeah, Doug, what do you think about Cass?
Yeah, I mean, this is the player that I probably know least about coming in. Out of interest, when was Survivor Quebec 2 aired? When was it filmed? How long ago was it here?
That was aired. It wasn't. It was last year. So it wasn't.
Okay, so it's
recent.
Oh, it's reasonably sort of soon. Okay. Again, kind of similar to Tommy and Lisa. I expect Cass to have room to maneuver in the early game. I can't see a situation where she would be first boot or second boot. I think she would have time to operate and make those connections. It's been raised if she lost her game due to, I guess, loyalty, there's just no room for that in this sort of game. You know, you're dealing with absolute sharks who will hang you out to dry by the drop of a hat. You know, that I imagine she probably would have learned from that. Getting to a final and losing is something that you probably won't forget about for the rest of your life. You know, and I think to get this sort of second chance on the biggest stage of all, she'll be prepared to do what needs to be done. You know, a definite underdog to win the entire thing potentially. You know.
Yeah.
I agree. She definitely has that underdog energy, and not to throw the Survivor lore in there, but as we've seen, if a female gets pregnant after her season, we've seen them sometimes win. Kenzie, Liz from Survivor AU, just to name a couple. Cass is now happily pregnant. Well done, Cass. So Not to throw that lore in there, but we have seen that occur from time to time.
I also think I read that Cass is quite strong, and I think she won a few individuals. I think
she won. I've got in the notes here 2 individual immunities.
Okay, yeah. So if you get past that first stage and you navigate the kind of messiness, you could have that run. You could have that run in there. I would back Cass to get to the end and get to the end stages of the game for sure. Good feeling about it.
I definitely think Cass is going to be kind of the surprise one. I in terms of the AU tribe, I kind of put her as the same thing as kind of Sarah. We said on the AU stream, which you can go see, like me, Cara and Ferris struggle to find something to give like an obstacle for Sarah, and I kind of have a similar thing with Cass in the sense of I think people are going to underestimate her, and that's going to swoop in. So I could see Cass doing very well. Before I move on to the next person, I just want to throw this comment up from Zans. What a throwback. Cass is recognized in my house and she speaks llama. Well, let's talk about who said that quote, because funny enough, it's a perfect segue. Tony. The only 2-time winner on this cast, obviously a fellow winner with so many of them. Doug, what do you think Tony's biggest obstacle is coming into this game? And why is it that he's a 2-time winner?
Yeah, I think there's where to begin. I think just the idea of having a Tony scalp in your back pocket would be almost too good an opportunity to pass up for a lot of these players. He does like to bang his own drum that he won Winners at War. Clearly a great player. Likes to sort of stiff arm quite a lot. I don't think he'll go too far in the game. Sadly, I think he's on the Mount Rushmore of Survivor US. This is someone that will be targeted at day 1, minute 1 of the game. People will be licking their lips for a chance to vote him out.
Yeah.
And even like, oh, you go. Sorry.
No. Doug, continue.
No, crack on. Honestly, it's fine.
Okay, then go for it, Cara.
I was going to say, like, at what point, like, we know Tony, he's great at the game. Like, he's won twice. We know he has all these tricks and things up his sleeve. But at what point do you not become such a big threat anymore? And, like, people are like, okay, like, this is Tony. We know he's going to do something crazy. Like, we keep him around. We know what he might potentially do. Like, at what point does that come into play? And do you think that would come into play with someone like Tony, or they just want to get him out just because he's Tony?
I think the latter. I think they would, because we saw. So this was it. This is what was interesting with Tony. Obviously, we saw him playing a really incredible game on Cagayan, and then Game Changers came, and he kind of tried to basically emulate that straight away, and it got him 19th. And he then kind of. He evolved his game. He still had those elements, but he was able to do it in a way that, worked. And he was able to slip under that radar slightly at the start of Winners at War that helped him then navigate playing the middle so well and winning. But I think kind of he's going to come in already with I don't mean this in a bad way, with the ego of the fact that he is a 2-time winner. He's won this game twice. He knows what to do. So I think he is going to probably come into this game with a bit more like a carefree attitude. Like, I'm just going to have some fun here. If I do well, I do well. If I don't, I don't. And I think that's where I see with him. I do feel like if he comes into the game really gung-ho and like wanting to go crazy, I do feel like that could hurt him really badly. And to be fair, I think the rest of the chat agree. Jaden, not going to lie, first boot. Gabe also thinks that Tony is in trouble. There is one comment from Survivor Twists I want to bring up, which is an interesting one. Tony has 3 million and they know, but David has 5 million and they don't know. Do you think money is going to come into this potentially?
Yep. Interestingly, the winner of Survivor Finland, do you know how much they win if they win the season in terms of money?
Oh, I've completely forgotten. I did, but my brain's forgotten.
The total is about €30,000. So it's not a big amount, you know.
Yeah.
I think money will come into it, and I think just having the legacy of being the winner of all winners, as in this. If I'm Tommy and I'm down researching with my family, this guy won a season against all the other winners in America. I think that title in itself is you're going to permanently be a legend, you know.
Yeah. He won against all winners. I mean, again, he is an elite group of players who have won twice. Obviously, Sandra being one of them. Just names off the top of my head. Turbo from Turkey, I know, won twice. I think there's about 8 of them. So obviously, I do think Tony may want that glory of being like, I want 3 wins. Like, I definitely could. Again, that stems from the ego. I could see him wanting that, but I do also feel like he's going to kind of want to come in and just be like, you know what? I know I'm going to have a target on my back, so let's just have fun with it. I do love this coming from Survivor Twists. I'd never give Tony more money. No, I'd want that as well. And just to answer your question on, they didn't really get along. I know that Parvati did use an advantage against Tony during Winners at War. I think it was Gabe mentioned that in the chat earlier. So I think it may not be bad blood, but it may just be one of those things where they're like,
it's not looking good for Tony. Unfortunate.
No,
because he is so fun to watch play.
He is, but I do feel like he's going to have that arc of, because we've seen it. His first season did really well. Second season, third season did really well. Fourth season.
Yeah, but okay, I don't know the order of when Traitors was filmed in comparison to this, but like he didn't do well in Traitors, so maybe this is going to be his up.
His redemption.
Actually, no, I think Traitors he did film Traitors before AU, I think.
So that could potentially be good. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still worried for him. Anything else before we move on to our final castaway? No? Well, let's move on to arguably one of the biggest super fans of this show. She was on Survivor New Zealand and won. It's Lisa. As I said, Lisa was on Survivor New Zealand that has now, fun fact, has not been airing for 7 years. It has been 2018 was the last New Zealand season, and it was Lisa's. But yeah, she won the game. She came in as a super fan. I'm not going to lie to you, and this is not just because Lisa's on my draft. I struggle to see an obstacle with Lisa. Just because Lisa, when she played New Zealand, she very much kind of leaned into the archetypes that she was given. Like she was open that she was a super fan. She was open that she was kind of the older woman, which she was only like 30. She was in like her mid to late 30s, which now I'm looking at that going, well, that's not old. But she really did lean into those kind of stereotypes, and she played kind of like a Mary Ann, like a Natalie Anderson game. She waited. She let everyone kind of underestimate her. She let everyone assume her, and then she kind of struck. She made a really pivotal move, kind of contrast to Cass. She made a really strong move against basically her number one ally, because they found an idol together, got all the way to the final 6, and then this is where the Sari connection comes in. Lisa did 3-2-1, getting rid of her closest ally with an idol in their pocket. And then that was kind of the basis before her game to help her win. So, I mean, again, like I said, this could just be my biasly talking. I struggled to see an obstacle or a hurdle for her, so I'm kind of interested to see Doug or Cara if you have any obstacles. I'm going to go to Doug first.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Lisa is she the only female to have won Survivor New Zealand out of interest?
Yes, I believe so. I need to do
she'll be so excited. I mean, after knowing your season sadly gets cancelled, and you think that's maybe your Survivor journey done, then coming back onto this stage 7 years later, you must be so excited to get in there. I think she'll have a great time, and I think she'll do really well. Again, similar to these sort of remaining world players, Tommy and Cass, I think she's going to have room to maneuver. I think those three should definitely come together and start doing things as three, potentially, for sure, and with the help of maybe a juggernaut from the US. Yeah, I'm very, very happy for her. This is going to be good fun for her.
Yeah, I agree. Cara, do you want to go ahead before I read some comments out here?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what both of you have said. Like, I think she will do well. I mean, maybe if people know she won, then people might be looking at her. But, like, if they don't know, then that will be good for her as well. I mean, you said the season hasn't been aired in a while or been able to watch or something. So, like, maybe people don't really know her or know anything about her. And she could just go in and downplay herself a little, and that'll help.
In terms of the World Tribe, yes. I'm pretty sure that in Australia you can still watch her season, so maybe they would be able to understand her game a bit more. So I'm not quite 100% sure there, but don't quote me on that. I don't know. I'm not from Australia.
I feel good about her. I think she's gonna do well. She's gonna be with Suri, and it's just gonna be so exciting.
Well, that's the thing, because I actually want to throw up this comment from Jaden, which was put way early in the thing, saying Lisa is a big Suri fan, but also maybe smart enough to not stay loyal to her the whole time. I do agree with that. I think, when I say I could see Lisa absolutely fangirling over Suri and them two come together. I would love to see that, just because I do think it would be so fun to see that dynamic. Some more comments from the chat. Survivor Twist, Lisa's social game is beyond, like Pia from AU, but softer. Gabe says Lisa coming into the season is similar to Adam at Winners at War. And then Jaden as well, saying, not going to lie, this is my winner pick from this tribe, with Sarah being my winner pick from the Australian tribe. Well then, Jaden, you're going to love my draft. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. There's literally the chat. You are doing amazing. You are popping off on there. Do we have anything else more on Lisa before we kind of start to, wrap things up here?
Not for me.
No.
Okay, well, I've just spoke about the draft, so let me just quickly throw the draft up. This is our draft. We did the draft. You can see the episode on YouTube. Obviously, Cara has got George and Tommy. I'm having a lovely time as well with Sarah and Lisa. Jaden, just for you. Yeah, Doug, because I think I asked Ferris this question, so I want to ask you. If you could draft two people, who would it be? Then also a follow-up. If you looked at these drafts, which draft would you want to kind of take?
Yeah, I would probably take Janine and Tommy, I think. Yeah, I'm riding high on Janine. I always thought she was a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Godmother. Godmother. Absolutely. And let's have a look here. Laura's with Kirby and Luke is solid. Logie, I got Tony in there, maybe not. No, I'll actually go with you, Cara, just because you got Tommy in there. I think George might struggle, but I think Tommy might carry you there, Cara.
Yeah.
There you go.
George is going to do great.
I hope so.
We will see about that one. Yeah, to be fair, Survivor Twist also says their picks would be Cass and Luke, which I love. And thank you. I know they were good choices. Right. So we are getting to the end of the podcast. So the last kind of thing we need to do is make our predictions on each person. So we're going to go down the list of each person. I have got some levels of where we think they're going to end, and we all need to give our honest opinion of where we think they're going to go. So the options are an early out, kind of middle of the road, end game, or finalist/winner. So those are the four kind of areas we're looking at. So the first person, and I'm going to do it looking at the my things over here, so it's going to be completely different order. The first person is going to be Cass. So I'm going to go to Cara first. Do you think early out, middle of the road, kind of end game, or winner finalist?
I'm going to say end game.
Okay. Doug?
Yeah, I'll make it end game shout. I like that one.
Honestly, yeah, I agree. I do think she's going to be end game. I definitely think she's going to be at that kind of end game. I don't think winner / finalist. I would love to see that though. Okay, next person is Tony. Cara.
Early out.
Yep, ditto.
Doug.
Ditto.
Yeah,
sorry.
Early out. I'm so sorry, Tony.
I hope I'm wrong.
He's got every chance to prove us wrong. He has got every chance to prove us wrong. But yeah, I do think an early out as well. Next person is Tommy. Cara.
Finalist, winner, whatever that last one was, end game.
Okay, Doug.
Yep, 3 for 3 with me, you and Cara. I'm back in Team Tommy. You've heard it here first. This guy's going to win it. I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
Doug has called it. Doug's got his winner pick. I'm gonna go against the grain for once. I feel like we've all been on the same page except for this. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with middle of the road.
Okay.
I have this feeling he's gonna surprise us, and then something's gonna happen that gets him middle of the road. I don't know why. Okay, so next up is Lisa. So Cara, what do you think? What's your prediction for Lisa?
I'm going to say middle. Yeah, mid. Okay. Whatever the middle of the game, middle of the road.
Doug?
Yeah, I'm going to say end game. I would say finalists, but I think there are a couple Australian players who maybe pepper to the final potentially.
I am on the same wavelength as you. I'm going to go end game, but I think that there may be some Australians that maybe kind of go, we know what you're doing, cut you just now. I do think it could be a case of she kind of does what she did her last season, makes a big move, but this time people go, no, I know what you're about to do.
Yeah.
Okay, next person is Sari. So, Cara, where do you think Sari's coming?
I'm going to say like the end game, not finalist, but like end game, like she goes far. I mean, I could even see finalist potentially. I'm kind of torn between those two.
Okay, Doug?
Yeah, I think Sari is in less trouble than Parvati if I'm looking at both the US ladies. Let's go end game. I can't stretch the finalists. But I think she'll be in the conversation when you get to your last 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to agree with both of you. I do think she's end game. I think she's definitely got a lot more going for her this season. But I'm going to say end game, not winner or finalist, purely because, and this might sound like a cop out, but because she's on 50. Why would you go on 50 if this happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Okay, next person is Parvati. Cara, what are we thinking?
Kind of tough. I think I'll just say mid, but like not like deep mid, like early middle, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of that early, like that the kind of early but kind of middle. She's in that little bracket.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we thinking, Doug?
Yeah, I just think the threat of letting her make merge, I wouldn't be comfortable with it. I'd be doing everything I could to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm going to say, not your early 1, 2, 3 boots, but maybe just pre-merge.
Yeah,
she might bite the bullet.
I'm going to agree with you all. Middle of the road. Yeah, I think she might she might maybe make merge, but once she makes merge, it's done for. I do just want to pop this chat up. Thank you so much, Survivor Twist. We really do appreciate that. We love you so much. Thank you so much for that. Okay, and final person, it is Rob. What's our prediction for Rob?
early out.
Yeah.
I'll go a step further. I think it's first boot.
Oh. Oh, damn.
Sorry, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I can't see anything good for this.
I'm going to agree with both of you and go for early boot. I do think he is an early out, unfortunately. Yeah. But Rob, prove us wrong.
Please do.
But no, thank you so much for this. This was so much fun. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen. I don't know. Thank you, Survivor Twist, as well. Really appreciate it. Sending the love. People don't. Oh, no. That's food. Oh, no.
It's only because you're so good, Rob. I apologise.
Sorry. But before we do go, just for everyone in the chat, we just want to remind you about things that are going on. Just a reminder, I know we've got AU vs. the World coming up, but we have got some 49 coverage, getting ready to gear up, and you never know who you might see as a guest. And just so you know, we've got some other things that have been happening. We've had Pride in the Tribe, where I was able to speak with some amazing guests and find out what Pride means to them. I got to talk to the lovely Ren from the UK.
You did.
And we got to have our little chat there. We also have a series currently going on called Babes and Buffs. Tori and myself and some other amazing guests are looking back at the iconic women of Survivor US. We've already got 3 episodes out. We just did seasons 21 to 30 with the iconic Abby Marie Gomez. Like, she was so fun. So I would push for everyone to go watch that. And just remember, we do have a Patreon. So if you do want to see your name floating around here in our legend tier, you can go. We've got 2 tiers. We've got Faithful and Legend. So we will be popping those up from time to time. But we've got some content going on there. We've got some revisits happening and some other things coming down the line. And then finally, I just have to plug this because we are expanding in 2026. We're going to reality now. We will be covering more than just Survivor. We will be doing Big Brother, Traitors, maybe even a bit of Love Island. You never know. I won't be, but someone else might. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. It's coming up soon. We are live on Instagram and YouTube, so go check out those channels to get ready for that content. But that was the whole spiel. Got all that out of the way. Cara, thank you so much for joining me as always. I can't wait for this coverage. But Doug, thank you so much for joining us as well. It has been so much fun. And as you know, you are welcome back anytime.
Oh, thank you. Been a pleasure. Thanks. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Love having you. And thank you for everyone in the chat. We cannot wait for this AU versus the World coverage. Our next AU coverage will be the recaps. So keep an eye out for that. August 17th is when it is premiering. So get ready and we'll see you guys soon.